Hey you guys, all right, today I have another reformer Pilates workout for you. Okay, it's gonna be about 60 minutes today. We're gonna hit the full body, okay? The full body, we're gonna go around the machine, pretty much how I typically do in my style of Pilates routines. Okay, so we're gonna kind of work our way around the machine, working on one side, then hitting the other. Okay, we're gonna have some dividing moves in there that are center, and I will walk you through everything with my cues. I want you to pay extra close attention to the cues today, okay? So if you've been following my workouts before, you know I tend to cue quite a bit, all right? But I don't just want it to be white noise in the background. I want you to really hear my cues and try to connect to your body. This is your 60 minutes right now for you to be present and to think about your connection to the body, okay? So everything we're gonna do today, intentional movement, all right? And thinking about where the movement is generating from. Today, you only need your jump board. Okay, so have your jump board up and ready to go because we're gonna start with some jumps, and your Pilates ring or circle, okay? So have the circle near the machine, okay? You're not gonna use it right off the bat. I've got my reformer set on one light spring, which is a blue spring. So just one blue spring. I am on a balanced body reformer. So if you have a different brand, just one spring will be perfect, okay? One blue spring. We will be going down to an extra light spring, which is a yellow spring on my reformer. On some brands, it's a white. If you have an extra light spring, when I cue to use it, go for it. If you don't, you're just gonna stay on that one blue and get a little extra resistance, okay? And that's it. You can have your headrest up if you'd like to start, okay? So get better alignment through the back of the neck. And let's start, guys. All right, so come down on your back. You've got that one blue spring or one light spring on all the way down. Okay, supine. Shoulders up against those shoulder blocks. Legs are gonna elongate out against that jump board. All right, now it's gonna feel really light on that one blue spring. Okay, but I want you to work with me because we're gonna have some choreography here. So right off the bat, before we start moving, this is where I want you to start to think about connecting with your body. The tailbone is heavy in the carriage. We've got a little space in the low back. That's our neutral spine position. Hip bones are shining straight up. Belly button is pulled up and back between those shoulder blades, and we have a tight corset. Okay, from here, arms are long by our side. We're gonna exhale as we bend both knees, keeping the heels connected to the jump board, and then we're gonna inhale on the out, exhale as we land. Good. Now, every time we land these jumps, okay, I want you to make a solid connection through your heel. Okay, now when you land, it doesn't just mean that your heel touches the jump board for a second and then it pops off. I want you to land and stick it. Okay, so you can think about gymnastics, right? Perfect 10, you gotta stick that landing. That's what we're doing right here. Good, inhale out, exhale as you land. My breath may be different than what I'm telling you just based on my talking. Okay, so please listen to those cues. That inhale is gonna give you that internal length within the body. Diaphragm drops, we get longer from the inside out. Good. Now, every time we leave that jump board, nothing is changing at my pelvis. My spine stays neutral, my core stays tight. Okay, we don't want a low back overarching, okay, because that's gonna flare the ribs. It's gonna put pressure on the low back. Good, so let's stay here. We're here for 4. We're gonna come into a single leg stretch in 3. Good, last 2. On your next one, okay, we're gonna start to pull the leg in and switch. Okay, so you're gonna come to that single leg stretch just like we would on the mat. Very classical Pilates exercise. All right, that knee pulls to the chest. Both hands take that shin, okay? And I'm taking that one leg for a jump and I switch in midair. So I'm landing, alternating my landing between my right and left leg, alternating my knee pull. Good, and giving that knee a little hug as it comes in towards the chest. Good. Now, we're gonna keep jumping, but we're gonna add an ab curl here. So on your next one, I want you to pick those shoulder blades up off the carriage, keep that jump going, okay, simultaneous movement. There's space between my chin and my chest, okay, so I'm not looking at my pelvis or looking at my inner thighs, I'm looking up. Good, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Ribs are still closed. Good, now we're gonna change the single leg stretch into a straight leg. Okay, we're here for 4. Good, last 3, 2. Good, that inhale still takes you out. Good, now on your next one, okay, we're gonna go straight leg. Okay, we're gonna switch like a pair of scissors. Good, nice you guys. So finding that shin or the calf, that thigh, wherever you can grab, wherever you're comfortable, and giving that leg a gentle pull in towards the chest. Now, if you didn't take that ab curl with me, now would be the time to do it because it's gonna make this jump much more controllable. Good, I'm still landing with that heel, making a solid connection to the jump board, getting a nice stretch at the same time. Whew, and lots of work, right? Feel those abdominals already. Good. All right, you guys, so we're gonna pause for just a moment. In 6. Good, last 5. Good, you got 4. 3. Good, last 2. And last one right here. And bring it in for just a moment. All right, now staying here, you're gonna straighten out your left leg. My right leg is gonna come over my left, but it's gonna hover, okay? Like almost like I'm crossing my legs in a chair, okay? But we're gonna keep that right leg in a hover position, making that bend at the back of the knee, pointing the toe. I'm gonna bend my left knee, jump, and switch my legs mid-air, okay? So the cross alternates for my landing, alternating which foot lands on the jump board. Okay, it's like I'm crossing my legs in a chair. Now, the goal here is to get a nice V as you open, or a nice straddle as you open those legs for that jump. So those legs, the femur bones are swimming around in that pelvis for that nice fluid movement. But the goal is to keep the pelvis quiet and stable. That's the challenge when you add choreography like this. Okay, so we don't want the pelvis and that neutral spine to change. What we do want is those legs to move. Nice and mobile in that hip socket. Good. Excellent, you guys. So give yourself a moment to get this one. I have no more ab curl, so I released the ab curl here just so I can focus on those legs. Those abdominals are still getting a ton of work on one blue spring. Good. Lots of hang time here. So lots of time for the core to hold those legs in mid-air. Good. I love these jumps. These are one of my favorites. And I like to spend some time when you get here, just so the body can start to learn this movement. The first time is always a little tricky, right? But then after you do it time and time again, it becomes kind of second nature. You're here for 6. Good. Last 5. 4. Good. You've got 3. Last 2. And go one more. And bring it all the way in, you guys. Nice job. You can give your knees a little hug into the chest if you want. Okay, come on up and grab your ring. We're going to stay on that one blue spring, though. Grab your ring. My left leg is going to jump. All right, so we're going to come down on our back one more time. My left foot's going to come up across against the jump board, but my right leg is going to be in tabletop, okay? Now, my ring is between the top of my right thigh and my right palm. I'm going to actively press into the ring, which is going to light up my right waistline and that right oblique. I want you to think about keeping the right knee over the hip, keep that tailbone heavy and that neutral spine. Okay, you can feel for your left hip bone. Left arm is long on the carriage. And from here, we're just going to start with full range of motion. Exhale, bend that left knee. Inhale, take it out for that hop. Good. So a little more challenging here. We're actively pressing into the ring, which means that right knee needs to resist the urge to move away from the hip. We don't want that leg to change position. We want the right shin parallel with the floor. The knee is locked over the hip, okay? And that core is nice and active every time we inhale away from the jump board. Exhale as you land, getting that heel to make that solid 10-point landing, right? Sticking that heel every time. That's going to challenge the flexibility through the back line of your leg. That's why I ask you to stick that heel. Okay, we're not jumping on the ball of the foot. I want that flexibility to grow and change with you as we work together. Good, holding it here. You should feel some fire in the body, that right side. Mine's all lit up. Actively pressing into the ring. Now, we're gonna take that left leg and we're gonna start to alternate our landing. So, on your next one, instead of landing in parallel, you're gonna externally rotate, land, and then go back to parallel. Externally rotate, toes turn out, back to parallel, toes up. Okay, so even though I talk about the toes, you know I mean the whole leg. Okay, it's not just the foot that rotates. When we go into that external rotation, my whole leg is swiveling from the top of the hip so that that inner thigh shines a little bit more towards the ceiling. Good, and then we come back to that parallel leg. I'm still actively pressing into my ring. Don't forget about that. I don't want that core to turn off. I want it to be on fire. I think that's what you want too, right? Good, keep alternating that landing. You got 4. Good, last 3. Good, let's go for 2, and then we're gonna hold it in that external rotation. We're gonna jump only in external. Last 1. Good, you guys. On your next one, you're gonna hold that external rotation and jump in external rotation. Inner thigh is shining up. My right leg is still locked in position. I'm pressing actively into the ring. Now, from here, we're gonna take a little leg lift. That left leg will stay in external rotation, okay? And then we're gonna lift and lower to land. Lift. I want you to think about lifting with your inner thigh. Left inner thigh picks up. It's a 3-inch lift, and we lower to land. It's not gigantic, it's not a kick, okay? Press into your ring. Toes are pointed when we go for that leg lift. We've got a strong leg. Okay, no sloppy movement, nice and tight and controlled. Good, let's go for 6. Whew, last 5. And 4. Good, you've got 3. We're gonna come into single arm jumps. In 2. And last one right here, nice and tight. And bring it all the way in, guys. All right, come on up. We're moving on. Take your blue spring off and let's go for that yellow. Okay, so extra light spring, if you have it. If you don't, stick with the blue. I will give you modifications as we go for that weight, okay? You're gonna come onto your seat, crisscross applesauce, okay? So you want your left sitting bone all the way on the edge of the carriage, okay? So you want the center of the sitting bone. That means half of my booty is off and half of my booty is on the carriage, okay? I'm really close to the jump board. My right hand is gonna take that ring and I'm gonna press into the ring, okay? That's basically gonna remind me to stay tall and not arc side to side, okay? From here, my left hand, okay, is gonna come to the jump board. From here, we're gonna come into single arm jumps. Make sure your left hand is in front of your shoulder, not back here behind you, or even in line. It's a little bit in front of you, okay? Fingertips facing the top of the jump board. Elbow starts in a deep bend. You're gonna inhale as you take it out and roll for the fingertips for a little hop. Okay, now the challenge here is gonna feel heavy on that one arm, especially if you're on a blue, okay? Where I'm on a yellow spring, an extra light spring right here. The goal is to stay tall, okay? To not let that torso move, all right? So you wanna be nice and tall like a statue. I'm not shoving off the jump board, okay? That would look like this, okay? And every time I land, I would shove through the arm. That's not what we want, okay? We wanna stay tall, we wanna engage the core and take it out. I'm rolling and articulating through that wrist and through that palm. Yes, I'm pressing into that ring to light up my right waistline again. Good, and to remind myself to sit tall. Sternum over pubic bone. Good. Nice, you guys. Excellent. Minimize that rock side to side. Good. Now, we're gonna take that left arm and we're gonna add a little bit. So as you take it out, we're gonna reach the left arm up and come back to land. Reach it up along the ear and back to land. Good. So it takes a minute, okay, to get that choreography. Want to try to catch that carriage before it hits the bumper. Okay, so you're not jostling back and forth. Good, just a lift and lower. Don't forget about your ring. We want to actively press into the ring. Good, my core has to be tight right here. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. Good, last 4. We got 3. Whew, that arm. Last 2. It's been a while since I've done single arm jumps with you guys. Good, last 1. And bring it all the way in. All right, staying on the yellow spring. We're gonna be on that for a while now. Come onto your knees. Okay, I'm still facing the right side of my reformer. My right foot, make sure your headrest is down for this. Your right foot is gonna come onto your headrest. Your left knee is gonna be on the carriage, okay? Now you wanna make sure your left knee is under the hip. That ring is gonna come to the solar plexus, base of the ribs, okay? 1 squishy pad there, and then we're gonna take our arms in a circle around the ring. My right foot is in external rotation, right knee tracking with big toe, second toe. Reach down and grab your long loop, okay? That long loop is gonna come around one side of that squishy pad, okay? So we've got a nice hold on the loop, okay? Get yourself set up, sternum over pubic bone, nice and tall, core is engaged. Okay, we're lifting up through the left inner thigh and that knee is under the hip. From here, we're gonna inhale as we rotate towards the jump board, towards the left. Exhale through center and inhale to the right. Good, back through center, inhale to the left. Exhale through center, inhale to the right. Good. Good, so you're rotating left and right. Okay, normally when I have you guys in some sort of torso rotation, I take you just to one side. This time we're kind of looking at it like we're wringing out a rag. Okay, so the waistline, pelvis is not invited to move. That stays quiet as we find the waistline for that rotation. Okay, now the ring is helping keep us honest. Okay, so that it's not the head, neck, and shoulders driving this movement, but that it's sincerely coming from that waistline. Good, you can absolutely look in the direction of your twist. Okay, but I don't want you to use a yank. See that? What is a yank? That's not what we want. We want to find the sincere, intentional movement from the waistline, from that rib basket twisting. Now that inhale is important when you twist because it's giving space to the vertebrae through the spine for you to twist a little deeper. We want to get longer when we twist. So you can think about a barbershop pole, okay, twisting up a barbershop pole rather than sinking into your twist, okay, or contracting during your twist. We want to lengthen up out of the spine. Good, let's go for 3 more. It takes a while for your body to start to feel this, but if you really work with those cues, your rotation will get lots and lots deeper over time. Mine's increased a ton just from working with it. It was very small to start. I didn't even feel like anything was happening. Good. All right, you guys. Now, the next time you've got it back at center, we're going to release that loop, and that ring is going to come underneath the left palm. Now, I'm going to switch my loop to my short loop, okay? So if you have a short loop, go for that, and your left hand is on that ring. And we're going to press into that ring because we're going to stay tall. Now, if you're still on that one blue spring because you don't have an extra light, go for the long loop, okay? From here, we're going to take that right arm out towards the rear of the machine, palm facing up. I'm going to think about pulling my belly button up and in as I exhale and bend that right elbow for a bicep curl. And I'm going to inhale, lengthen it back out, opening the inside elbow. Exhale, bend at the elbow. Inhale, open it up. Good. So if you notice, I'm really concentrating on not bending or finding any sort of side flexion here. I want to stay nice and tall. The ring is reminding me of that. Good. I've got my left inner thigh working because it's lifting up into my pelvic floor and low belly. And my right foot is nice and solidly planted on that headrest. Your inhale is as you open that arm. And your exhale is as you go for that bicep curl. Good. Make sure that arm is in your peripheral vision. We want to make sure that we can see it out of the corner of our eye. Good. Keeping the shoulder away from the ear. Good, you guys. Excellent. That left side is going to start to shake a little bit, pressing lightly into that ring. So that's where that connective tissue starts to fire. All that little extra, those little checkpoints. Good. Let's go for 4 more. And then we're going to turn this into an overhead reach. Last 3. Good. Let's go for 2. And you know, guys, when you start these movements, it might feel really light and you might want to adjust those springs. I urge you to stick with the spring weight that I cue you into because I layer a ton. Okay, and that's the only reason. I don't want you to start to muscle through things. All right, now from here, we're going to take that palm up and overhead for an overhead reach. Palm is going to face forward, and then we're going to bring it back down. Elbow bends deep. We're going to inhale up and overhead. Exhale, bend it deep. So by this point, okay, it may have felt light initially on that bicep curl, but at this point, it should feel pretty challenging. Okay, that palm is facing forward. I've got my arm in my peripheral vision, so my bicep is in front of my ear always. It never comes behind my ear. We want to keep those ribs or that corset tight. Keep pressing lightly into that ring. Woo, we got 4 more. We're going to inhale as we take it up, and we're going to exhale as we bring it down. Last 3. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last 2. Woo. Good, let's go for 1 more. Good, now on your next one, we got 1 more layer here. We're gonna switch this arm, palm facing down, elbow out to the right. So we're in a half T, okay? From here, we're gonna inhale as we twist, reach across the body and twist to the left. Exhale back to center. Good, so we're finding that little torso rotation again. I'm still pressing into the ring. Okay, so my whole body is trying to stabilize as I find this rotation. Good. Reaching across the body. I'm no higher than underarm height with that palm. Good. And my elbow bends out to the side as I come back. Good. You want to think about your right ribs, okay? Right ribs reaching for that left inner thigh, but staying tall. Okay, we don't want to dump into the movement. Remember that inhale breath. Remember that barbershop pole. We spiral up and away. Let's go for 4 more. Press lightly into that ring. Good. Last 3. Exhale back to center. Good. Last 2. Good. And last 1. And bring it all the way back in. Guys, hang up that strap. Whew, nice little arm pump right there. Can feel my right hip too. All right, we're going to come down. We're going to come into the well of the machine. So you're going to stay on that 1 yellow spring or 1 extra light. And you're going to come into the well with your ring. Okay, now for this one, my right foot's going to stay on the floor. Okay, that was your foot that was on the headrest. Now my left foot is going to come to the headrest instead. So we're going to come into a single leg plie. Now, what I want you to make sure is both legs are in external rotation. So on the floor, my toes are turned out to an angle towards this riser, and my left toes are angled towards the shoulder block, okay? From here, the ring is going to come to the solar plexus right at the base of the ribs. We're going to encircle that ring. Now, my standing leg, I'm going to give it a soft little bend in the knee. Make sure your kneecap is lining up with big toe, second toe. We want that knee to track for that nice alignment. Now, from here, make sure your headrest is down. You're going to exhale as you bend that left knee, bringing the carriage closer to you. Inhale, send it out. Exhale, we're going to engage the inner thigh, pull it up and into the pelvic floor and low belly. Good, and inhale to take it out. And I want you to think about that. Think about the inner thigh drawing up along the thigh into the pelvic floor, up into the low belly. You tighten the belly button up and in. It's not just the knee opening and closing the carriage. Okay, I want you to think all the way up to the core. Good, and then we open. Now, as you draw the carriage in, okay, we stay tall, and we get that left kneecap to track with big toe, second toe. Once that kneecap is right in the middle of our foot, we send it back out from there, okay? So that's about as far as you're bringing that carriage in. The knee stays behind the toes, behind the toes. Good. Keep pulling that low belly up and in. Good. All right, now on your next one, we're going to add a rotation. So we're going to draw the carriage in, hold, and we're going to inhale as we rotate to the left towards the jump board, and then we're going to come all the way back to center on that exhale and release the carriage. Good. We're going to exhale, bend the knee. Good. Inhale, rotate. Pelvis is quiet. Exhale back to center and release the carriage with control. Okay, I don't want you to just let that carriage slide back in on its own. Good, I want you to resist those springs. Good. And think about that intentional movement, okay? At this point, the calf may be starting, the toes may be starting to grip. I want you to still think about that inner thigh pulling up and in along the spine. Hold, rotate, exhale back to center. Good, let's go for 2 more like that, and then we're just gonna rotate. Exhale. Good, rotate on your inhale. Good, take it out one last time here. Good, exhale, bend that knee. Good, hold, inhale, rotate. Exhale back to center, extend that leg. On your next one, we're gonna hold that bend. So your left knee is gonna bend it in, knee comes just in front of the ankle, we hold, and now we're just gonna rotate. Inhale, exhale back to center. You feel that left inner thigh? I feel both inner thighs. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Whoo, you got it. Inhale, rotate. Exhale through center. So we're really working on that deepening of that twist today. Last 4. Hang on to it, guys. Hang on to it. Don't let that carriage escape you. Last 3. Go, we got 2. Working on that low belly. We're going to be working on it really hard next. Good, last 1. And release that carriage all the way, guys. Woo, so good. All right, rotate. You're going to face the back of the machine now. Okay, now, right foot is going to stay on the floor, and my left foot's going to stay on the headrest. But now my toes are going to be on the headrest, my heel up. Okay, so we're in a kind of a modified lunge position. All right, so I want you to find a place where you're standing up on your left leg, okay, and your back leg, you're standing up on your right leg. Your back leg, your left leg, is as straight as it can be, okay? Now from here, that ring is gonna come between our palms, okay, and we're gonna soften the right knee so that we're in a lunge position. I've got my torso tilted a bit, my right knee is bent a little bit, and it's tracking with big toe, second toe. I'm sending my right hip back. Now my arms are gonna start up and overhead with that ring between my palms. From here, my right side is gonna stay how it is, but my left side, I'm gonna draw that knee under the hip, bring the ring in, elbows down, and then we're gonna send it all the way back out with control. Good, we're gonna exhale. Bend the left knee under the hip, it's a carriage pull. Elbows pull down with that ring, and then we send it back out. Now, on this one, you wanna make sure that the hips are level while we do this movement. Okay, this is basically a psoas drag on that left side. So right at the base of the core, along the spine, we're using that muscle to draw the knee under the hip. Okay, and then with control, we release that. Okay, I have my ring down right now just because I want to kind of talk about what's happening here. When you draw that carriage in, your knees stop when they're in alignment with one another. And then we send it back out. Okay, now those arms are just a little extra cardio. Exhale, bend the elbows in, draw the knee under the hip. Inhale, take it out. And I know the right leg is going to start to get tired. Okay, so I want you to release the grip through the toes. Good, and think about that solid foot connection. Base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, through the center of the heel. Whoo, tighten up that core as you pull it in. All right, you guys, 2 more. Exhale, draw it in. Good, inhale, release. Good, last full one like that. Exhale, squeeze the ring down, elbows to the waist, and out. Good, now on your next one, we're gonna hold it in, okay? So we're gonna draw it in, tighten up that core, pull that left inner thigh up along the spine, hold, and just squeeze the ring, pulse in on that ring. Good, from the right and left waistline and the mid-back, not just the shoulders. Okay, pull that belly button up and in. You're here for 4, 3, 2, good. On your next one, we're going to still hold, but now no more pulse of the ring. We're going to release the carriage 1 inch and back. Release and back. So it's like a little pulse. Okay, you're opening and closing the front of the left hip just by 1 inch. It's really small. The right knee is still bent. Okay, you're still reaching that right hip back and that left hip forward so that the hips are level with one another. Woo, guys, you're here for 6. Squeeze that ring. Last 5, you're just holding that squeeze now. In 4, we're going to release. In 3. Good, you've got 2. Good, last 1. And send it all the way out, guys. Woo, all right. Set the left foot down. All right, from here, we're going to turn and face forward, but you're going to stay in the well. That ring is going to come between your ankles, okay? So right above the bony landmark of the ankle, okay, right above that bone. You want a nice light hold. Now, if your reformer is too narrow, you're going to take the ring up around your outer thigh like a pair of pants, just like that, okay? So find a position that works good for you. Mine's wide enough that I can have it between my ankles. All right, from here, we're going to find our very best squat, okay? So starting upright, we're going to reach our sits bones back. So on your exhale, okay, we're going to bend the knees. Reaching with the sits bones, we find a torso tilt. It's minimal, okay? But we've got my ribs stacked over my pelvis. Belly button pulled up and in, feet are flat on the floor. We're going to reach forward and find either our handlebars or our shoulder blocks, your choice. And we're going to pull that carriage in so that the arms are still straight, but I've got my shoulder blades connected down my back, wrapping the ribs. All right, once you've got that connection and the belly button's pulled up and in, we're going to squeeze the ring lightly, and we're going to exhale as we pull the elbows into the waist. Inhale, send it out. Exhale, elbows in. Inhale, send it out. Now, I know that you can pull more weight than this, okay? It's not about how much weight we're pulling. Okay, what I want you to think about is keeping the core connected, okay, as you work here. So as you pull that carriage in, I want you to draw the elbow down towards the waist, okay, and feel that right and left waistline light up. Good, I'm pulling the belly button up and in as I draw the carriage towards me. Good, I've got a nice light squeeze and my legs are on fire because I'm holding this squat so long. Good. Whew. Excellent, you guys, keep it going. We've got 4. Good, last 3. We've got a hold here, and then we are going to go single arm. Last 2, so those legs are going to get nice and toasty right here. Good. All right, you guys, on the next one, you're going to draw the carriage in and we're going to hold it there. My shoulders are away from my ears. My collarbones are wide. My shoulder blades are wrapping my ribs. I'm still holding that little squat. From here, my upper inner thighs are going to pulse on that ring. So I'm going to squeeze, squeeze. Now, if you've got the ring on the outside of your thigh, I want you to pulse the opposite direction. So you're going to open up on the ring. Obviously, your legs are not going to go anywhere because you're wearing that ring like a pair of pants, okay? But I want you to feel that opening from the upper inner thigh. Here we're closing the upper inner thigh. Whew, narrowing on that ring. Keep the elbows in so the carriage doesn't escape you. You're here for 6, 5, 4, right up here. 3, not just the knees. 2. On your next one, don't come out of your squat. Extend both arms, okay? My left hand is going to stay on the shoulder block, but my right hand is going to come behind my back. Low back is nice and flat. Ooh, those quads, right? Okay, reaching the sits bones back, core is tight. Exhale, bend the left elbow in. Inhale, take it out. It's not going to go far, right? That's okay. Elbow stops right at the side of the waist. Good, keeping that core working. Quads are on fire. Good, but I feel that shake right when I get that elbow close to that left waistline. My shoulders stay square to the jump board or square to the shoulder blocks. I'm not twisting. Resist the urge to twist. Okay, still squeezing or imprinting on the ring. Good, let's go for 4. Woo, last 3. Yes, you guys, good. Stay here. 2, don't come out of your squat. Last 1, exhale. Inhale, release, hold. Switch hands. Right hand to the shoulder block, left hand to the low back. Nothing changed with my squat. I'm still low. I'm pulling that belly button up and in. Here we go. Exhale, bend the elbow in. Inhale, take it out. Everything's shaking now. Exhale, pull it in. Can you give that ring a tiny bit deeper of a squeeze from the upper inner thigh? Good. Or can you imprint outbound on that ring just a little bit more if it's around your thighs? Whew, exhale. Let's go for 6. Exhale, draw it in. So I'm spiraling my bicep forward and elbow down when I bring that carriage in. Whew, 5. Good, last 4. You've got this, guys. This is it. I know everything's burning. Good. Last 3. Good, we got 2. Don't twist, don't twist. Good, and last 1. Send it all the way out and come up out of that squat. Oh boy. All right, keep that ring. Turn around again. We're going to go for that psoas drag on the other side. So this time your left foot is going to stay in the well. Your right foot is going to reach back for that headrest. Okay, now you want to find a position where your back leg, that right leg, is pretty straight. Okay, it's never going to be perfectly straight because of our physiology. You can't get it perfectly straight in this position. Left knee, okay, is going to bend in that shallow lunge, reaching the left sits bone back. Ring is going to come up and overhead. Whew, I am sweaty, guys. That's why I'm breathing like this. Okay, from here, imprint into the ring from the mid-back, okay? On your exhale, we're going to draw the right psoas, okay, inner thigh up in along the spine, pull the elbows down. Inhale, send it out. Good, we're taking that right knee under the hip, and then we're sending it back out. So I want you to find control. Guys, I'm going to lose my ring again for a second just so I can show you. Control the pelvis. My right hip bone is in exact alignment with my left hip bone. That is not changing as I drag that carriage in and out. Okay, I'm thinking about pulling my inner thigh, my right inner thigh up along the spine like a suspender, and then I slowly release the suspender. Good. We've got that little torso tilt in this position so you can feel that left glute. Make sure your left heel is heavier than your toes. Okay, so that you're not just gripping with your left toes on the floor. Good. We pull that carriage in so the knees find alignment, and then we send it back out. Good. Exhale for 4. Good. Inhale out. Good. Last 3. Pull it up and in. Whoo. Good, you guys. Last 2. Good. Last 1. All right, now we are going to take another one and we're going to hold it. So we're going to draw the elbows in. Knee comes in alignment with the left knee. Hold. And now we're just going to squeeze the ring. Think about that right upper inner thigh pulling along the spine to hold the carriage, not just gripping with the toes. Good. Tighten that belly button up and in. We're pulsing in on that ring. Things should be shaking and sweating. Good. You're for 6 and 5, 4. Good. Last 3. We're not going to release it. Last 2. Hold it here. Now the carriage goes out 1 inch and in. We're opening and closing the front of your right hip. I want you to think about that. Open and close, or change the angle of where the leg meets the hip. Okay, it's not the knees and the toes. Okay, it's all the way up there by the core. Hold it here. You've got this. You've got this for 4. Good. Last 3. Send that left sits bone back a little bit more. Last 2. Whoo. And last 1. And release it all the way. Whoo. Okay. If you need to take that foot down for a second, go ahead. But we're coming right into that single leg plie. So left foot in the well. Both legs in external rotation. So toes turned out on an angle. Okay, my right leg is perfectly straight, but I'm not hanging out in the joint. So I'm not hyperextending or locking my knee. I've got it soft and pliable. Left knee is going to bend just a bit. Okay, so we have a soft plie. Make sure that left kneecap is tracking with big toe, second toe. And we're going to bring that Pilates ring right to the solar plexus base of the ribs. Hug that ring gently. Here we go. Inner thigh. My right inner thigh on that exhale pulls up along the spine, dragging the carriage in. Inhale, take it out. Good. Exhale, draw up and in, tightening the core. Yes, and then take it out. Good. Let's find that suspender. Draw it up into the pelvic floor and low belly. Good. Knee stops in front of my ankle, but behind my toes. And release. Left leg is isometric now. Okay, it's turn to be stable. Whew. Good, you guys. You got it. You got it. Come on. Good. Try to release the toes if they're gripping. My toes are always gripping, so that's a reminder for my own self to release those toes. Good. Shoulders are down and back. We're relaxed through the back body. Good. Let's go for 4 more here. Exhale. Draw it in. Good. Inhale, release. Good. Last 3. Whoo, it's getting shaky now. Good. Last 2. Good. On your next one, we're going to start to add, I forgot to add that twist. We got a little extra here. So, my bad. On your next one, we're going to pull that plie in. Okay, hold. And we're going to add that torso rotation. Here a little bit longer than I planned. That's okay, right? A little extra never hurt anybody. Inhale, rotate to the right. Exhale through center. So again, it's from the waist up, that rotation. Pelvis is quiet. It's a little bit easier to keep the pelvis quiet in this position, so that's kind of nice. Okay, but you definitely have that challenge to hold the carriage in. Don't let that carriage escape you. Inhale. Exhale through center. Let's go for 4 more like that. Exhale, draw it in. Woo. Exhale through center. Good. Last 3. Feel that right inner thigh. Oh, yes. Good. Remember that inhale. You're growing taller. Remind you of that. Remember that barbershop pole. Exhale, bend. Growing taller. Inhaling. Exhale through center. Good. We're going to go 1 more right here. Full range. In, hold, rotate. Exhale back to center. Elongate. This one's a hold. Okay, we're pulling it in. And we're holding it right here, releasing those toes, but foot is flat. Inhale, rotate. Exhale through center. Good. Inhale. Woo, that inner thigh. Holy cow. Good, you guys. Stay here. You've got it. I'm going to count you down. We got 4. Last 3. Oh, boy. Don't let that carriage go anywhere. You've got it. 2 more. And last one. And release it all the way out, guys. Oh, boy. All right, take that right foot down. Shake it out. Give it a little shake. We're coming around. Okay, so we're going to start with that staggered kneel on the carriage, right? Unless I'm forgetting something. Let's make sure I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to be facing away from you. We're still on that extra light spring or that yellow spring. If you're on one blue, I'll give you those modifications, okay? You're going to be down on that right knee. Left foot is going to be on the headrest, toes turned out. That kneecap always tracking with big toe, second toe. Let's take that long loop to start, okay? It's going to come around one squishy pad, and the other squishy pad is going to be at the base of the ribs. Okay, we're going to find center. Okay, so arms are encircling the ring. Finding that center position, right knee is under the hip, okay? We're lifting up through that right inner thigh. We're going to inhale as we rotate to the right. Exhale through center. And we're going to find that rotation to the left. Good. So I want you to find that fluid movement here. Keeping the pelvis quiet. Rotating from the waist like you're wringing out a rag. Okay? Good. That ring is going to keep us honest, so that's kind of nice. When we don't have the ringer, we're just using hands in prayer. The head, neck, and shoulders tend to drive this movement a lot. I see that a lot when I teach a class. And it's hard to get people out of that because even though you're not using momentum, okay, if the eyes and the shoulders, they start traveling first, then the movement is not coming from the rib basket. Good. So I want you to think of that intentional movement right here. Take your time. Find that sensation from the waist eyes track down the center of the ring. That's going to help even keep it more honest. Good, let's go for 2 more. Good, last one. All right, now on your next one, finding center, you're going to take that ring down underneath your right palm on the carriage. Now, if you've got an extra light spring, go for the short loop. If you've got a light spring on, go for the longer loop. Okay, it's going to be a little less resistance. Ring is down on the carriage, and we're giving it a slight little press, okay, because that's going to help us stay tall and remind us to keep the shoulders down and back. All right, my right arm, it's going to come out alongside the body, palm facing up. We're going to go for that bicep curl. Remember, that arm is slightly in front of my body. We're going to exhale as we curl. Inhale, release. Good. Now, I know I'm facing away from you guys. Okay, you can see me in the mirror, which is good. All right, but I want you to still think about lifting up from that right inner thigh. My left inner thigh is on fire because of all the work we've already done at the back of the machine. So that's good if you feel that, right? Good. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears here. So we're pressing into that ring just slightly, just slightly. Good. As I curl into the bicep, I'm going to pull my belly button up and back for that tight core engagement. Inhale, take the arm out. Exhale, curl. Inhale, release. Good. So now it's not a moment. We're not pulling. I don't want you to yank or fist the strap. Okay? I want you to really keep those fingers open. Good. And then elongate. Good. Last 4. Isolating that movement to the bicep, but really focusing on the contraction of the core as we curl. Good. Last 2. Good. Last 1. Good. Now on your next one, we're going to bring that elbow down into a deep W or half W, palm facing forward. We're going to go for that overhead press. Woo, this arm is already tired. And down. Good. Inhale, overhead press. And exhale down to the left arm too. My left arm's not quite up to par with the right. Good. Inhale, up and over. Remember, the bicep stays in front of your ear. Those ribs are staying closed and the core is tight. Exhale down. Good. Inhale. Press into that ring. Exhale. Let's go for 4. Good. Last 3. And down. Whoo. Last 2. We're coming into that cross-body reach. Good. Last 1. And down. Good. Now on this one, palm is going to face the floor. Elbow is bent. Okay, we're going to find that torso rotation. I'm still imprinting into the ring. We're going to inhale, rotate towards the jump board. It's not big. And then bring it back. Keeping the hips and pelvis quiet. And again, in this staggered kneeling position, that's a little bit easier to do. Now, if both knees are down, you can absolutely have both knees on the carriage for this, okay? If both knees are down, I want you to really focus on not letting that pelvis twist or those hips twist. My left shoulder stays down as I reach across the body. It's an inhale. We grow taller like a barbershop pole. And then we exhale as we bring it back. Good. Whew. Last 4. Good. Let's go for 3. Good. We got 2. We're moving on to those single arm jumps on that right arm. Good. And bring it all the way in, you guys. Nice job. All right. Take that left knee down. Hang up your strap. Okay, we're going to take that ring, okay, but we're going to have it under the left palm. So I want you to sit crisscross on the carriage. You're going to scooch all the way over so that your right sitting bone, center of the right glute, find that bone and sit on it. It's on the very edge of the carriage. So half my booty's on, half my booty's off. Okay, from here, ring is under the left palm, and I'm going to give it a little imprint. Okay, it's going to remind me to stay tall, not to side bend, and also to keep that left shoulder down. My right hand is going to come in front of the body. I'm going to lengthen out to start. Okay, so find a good position right here. Now, if that ring isn't working for you today, you can always go like this, okay? Find whatever works best for you, okay? This is your time. Right arm is in front of the body. From here, we're going to find that deep elbow bend. That's why we sit so far to the edge. And then we roll and flick through the fingertips. So we're finding that articulation through the wrist, through the palm. I'm not slouching. I'm not side bending. Okay, I'm pressing into the ring to light up my left waistline. Okay, to keep those shoulders down and back. Yes, and I'm like a statue through the torso. That core is stabilizing. Good. So I want you to be able to get that deep bend through the elbow. So if you're not sitting close and getting that sits bone on the very edge, you're not going to be able to find that deep bend. Good. Bring that work all the way up into the bicep. Good, and the shoulder. Stabilizing with that shoulder girdle. Good, everything's working. Everything's working nice and hard here. Good. All right, let's go 4 more like this, and then we're going to add that overhead reach. Good, last 3. Landing that hand in front of the body. Last 2. All right, on your next one, we're going to send it out, reach up and over, down to land. Good, bicep comes in front of the ear, and then we catch ourselves before we hit the bumpers. Good. Staying nice and tall, growing taller as you lift up and away, still pressing into that ring. Whew. That right arm, oh boy, oh boy. Good, let's go for 4, guys. Last 3. We got 2. Whew, last one. And bring it all the way in. All right, you guys, took some concentration on that one for me. Bring your headrest up if you like it up for jumps. Okay, we're coming back into that single leg jump with the ring. So you're going to be on 1 blue before I move you. Okay, so add that blue back on, take off that yellow. So you're on that 1 light spring now. So if you've been there the whole time, you're right where you need to be. Okay, that left leg is going to be in tabletop. Left palm imprinting against the ring, which is imprinting against the thigh. Okay, so find that and lock that knee over the hip. My right leg is nice and straight. Finding my neutral spine. Heavy tailbone, lift in the low back, tight corset. Arm is long by my side. Right leg's gonna jump. Exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale, take it out for a little hop. Good. So I know I talk a lot through the setup on some of these guys, but take the time in your body not to rush through the movement, okay, but to think about your setup, to think about your form as we move from one exercise to the other. These are complicated. These are not simple movements at all. And to find that intentional movement, you need to be working with good form. Okay, so I want you to take that time to set up. So part of the time that I'm talking and cueing you through your setup, take that time, take it. So I promise you, with all these layers, you are always gonna be working hard. My left leg is already shaking. So good, pressing into that ring. Guys, press into that ring because you want that left side, that left oblique at waistline, low belly, right, to fight the ring. You're fighting that press. You don't want the left knee to move away from the hip. You want to keep it locked over the hip. My left shin parallel to the floor. Still reaching with a pointed toe as that right leg leaves the jump board. So that means that right inner thigh is free to reach right out that big toe. Like a lightning bolt. Reach it out there. Good. Nothing changes at my pelvis or at my low back because I'm holding my core tight as I jump. That stabilizes my pelvis. Good. Now we're going to start to play with alternating the landing. Okay, so we're going to land once in external rotation and then once back in parallel. I'm rotating the leg from the top of the hip, okay, so that when I go into external rotation, my inner thigh shines up and then it shines back towards the midline. Good. Toes towards out on a 45 and then back up towards the ceiling. Good. Find that swivel from the top of the leg, top of the thigh bone, right there. Good. Good, you guys. Press into that ring. As I add choreography to that right leg, I don't want you to forget about the left leg and giving it that resistance and that challenge. Challenge yourself right here. Good, because we're so close to the end, guys. We have one rear-facing abdominal sequence, and that's it. Good, you've got 4. Last 3. Good, we're going to keep that inner thigh shining up. Last 2. Whew. All right, you guys. On your next one, you're going to land an external rotation, and you're going to stay jumping in external. Okay, so my inner thigh is shining up here. Good. Now from here, we're going to add that little leg lift. Whoo, that left leg is trembling. Good. Good. Press against the ring. It's a 3-inch lift and lower to land. Doesn't have to be big, but I want you to use the inner thigh and that low belly to lift the leg right here. Good. Focus that intentional movement. Good, you guys. You got it. You got it. Stay with me. Good. We're here for 6. Good. Last 5. Remember your breath. Good. 4. And 3. Good. You've got 2. Woo. Last 1. And bring it all the way in. Whew, the left arm is tired from holding the ring too, right? All right, you guys, come on up. Rear facing. We're going to be rear facing. You're going to change your spring one more time, okay? One more time to that yellow spring, extra light spring if you have it. No ring for this one, guys, so set the ring on the floor, okay? And your legs are going to come across the headrest. Make sure your headrest is down. All right, now from here, we're sitting up nice and tall. We're going to reach forward, and we're going to grab our short loops. If you are on the blue still, you're going to grab your long loops, a little less resistance with that heavier weight, okay? Short loops if you're on your yellow or extra light. We're going to sit nice and tall, and my arms are going to make a really long oval in front of my body. So my fingertips are touching. I've got those straps lined up. My palms are facing me, okay? And I'm sitting up really tall on my sitting bones, right on the tips of those bones. Low back is nice and long, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. From here, we're going to hinge, okay? Now we're going to curl the tailbone, the low back, the mid back. And as I do this, I'm going to scrape the barrel and bring the arms up and overhead. On my exhale, I'm going to bring the arms down, scraping the torso again, and coming all the way up to a tall seated position. We're going to hinge. We're going to scrape the barrel as we roll through the vertebrae, bringing those arms up and overhead, biceps are in front of my ears, and then I scrape the barrel back down and come all the way up to a tall seated position. Good. Scraping the barrel up, across the chest, up and overhead. Find that long length. Open up those inside elbows. Everything should tremble. And then bring it all the way back up to a full seated position. Good, you guys. Woo! Right here. Turning on the heat in those abdominals right before we leave each other. Good. You got 4 more like that. Scooping the belly button up and in. Inhale as you sit upright. Good. Exhale, lean, curl, roll, scrape that barrel up and overhead. Exhale, pull it down. Inhale as you sit it up. Good. 3 more. Good. Bring it up and over. Sometimes I talk so much, guys, I don't remember how many I counted already. Good, you guys. Good. Stay with me. I'll always give you more, never less. Good. Last 2. So I'm rolling to the point where I feel that total body tremble. Good. All the way down. Good. Roll. Inhale, up and over. Reach for that length. Exhale. Ooh, everything's shaking, right? Everything's shaking. All right, we're going to go 1 more, but we're going to hold our roll. Okay, so we're going to hinge. We're going to roll the tailbone, scooping the belly, low back, just to the mid back. Now we're going to hold it there. My arms, palms face up now. We're going to go for a bicep curl in this half roll and then release. So my elbows, okay, are at my underarm height. Okay, palms are facing up. There's no momentum here. I'm scooping that belly button up and in. I want you to think about those inner thighs, okay? They're touching, right? So I want you to think about them lifting up through the midline into the belly button. Good. If you can find that connection through center, find that shake. Woo! Everything's shaking. Good. Stay here, guys. We got 4. Good. Last 3. Good. Last 2. All right, you guys. On your next one, all right, you're going to hold it. So we're going to bend into that bicep curl. We're going to hold it. From here, elbows go up and down. Lifting up from my right and left waistline. Find that reach. Fingertips pulse towards the ceiling. It's a lift and a lower. As I lift, I'm still scooping the belly. Okay, my shoulder blades fall down the back body just a bit. You might get a little movement to the carriage, and that's okay. Good, that's good. Good, we want 6. Good, last 5. Almost there, guys. We just have a little rotation and then a little challenge. 4. Like this isn't challenging enough, right? 3. Woo! Last 2. If you need to reset at any point, you reset that roll. Good. On the next one, you're going to bring those arms out into a T. We're still in that half roll. Woo! Everything is shaking. We're going to hover the left leg, and we're going to twist to the left. Arms reach in opposition, and then all the way back to center. Switch the leg. Right leg hovers, and we rotate. Yes. Guys, left leg hovers. My left arm comes low. My right arm comes high. And then I come back through center, and I'm still thinking about right legs hovers. I'm still thinking about those ribs twisting towards my inner thigh. Good, and I'm opening those arms long, keeping the ribs closed though. Good, keep breathing. Inhale, exhale. Good, you guys. So close. All right, let's go for 3 more. Good, keeping it. I'm trying to keep it even on each side, so make sure you're even. Good, 1 more to the right. Woo! All right, you guys, here we are at the challenge point. I'm going to ask you to draw those elbows into your waist, and we've got a tight bicep curl. All right, we're staying in that roll. All right, from here, I'm going to pick my right leg up into tabletop. Woo, it's trembling. I don't know if you can see that on camera. My left leg is going to come up as well. Hold it there. All right, from here, if you are up for it, glue your inner thighs together, and we're going to take those legs up and out for teaser. Okay, and from here, if you are up for it, you're going to reach those arms to become parallel to the legs. Shoulder blades are down the back body, and we're holding and we're breathing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and bend it all the way down, guys. Oh, boy. Okay, hang up those straps for just a moment. We're going to stretch now. But I want you to change your springs. So we're on 1 yellow right now, or an extra light. Let's add on a red spring. Okay, so you've got 1 heavy and 1 extra light. If you want to be a red and a blue, that's fine as well. Okay, make sure your headrest is down. You're going to come all the way down on your back. Woo! Time to loosen everything up, right? All right, everything should feel pretty good though, guys. Full body, full body. All right, right foot in the long loop. Left foot in the long loop. Okay, right from here, we're going to start with a couple hinges. So tailbone heavy, okay? Find your neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Okay, we know what that feels like in our body. From here, we're going to inhale, legs down towards the jump board, 45-degree angle. We're not gripping the booty, we're holding the core tight. And then we bring it up. Good, we inhale, lengthen down for that hinge. Exhale, bring it back. Good. Let's go for 2 more. And back. Good. Inhale, lengthen. And back. Good. Now right here on this, we're going to let the tailbone pick up. So I'm going to let the straps carry my legs up. Okay, I'm gonna lift my tailbone off the carriage. Okay, I'm coming up onto my shoulders. You're gonna come as much as you feel comfortable. Okay, I'm gonna bend the knees down towards my nose. Okay, and from here, as I start to roll from the base of the skull, or the base of my shoulder blades is where I'm at, as I start to roll that spine back onto the carriage, okay, I'm gonna keep the knees bent, one vertebrae at a time, and once my tailbone hits down, I'm gonna lengthen those legs out to that 45-degree angle. Good, and now I'm gonna exhale as I let the legs and the straps come up and overhead. The tailbone picks up, okay? Find that curl or that stretch through the spine onto my shoulder blades. Good, and from here, I'm gonna bend those knees towards my nose, and one vertebrae at a time, I'm gonna roll my spine back to the carriage, find the tailbone imprinting down, and we're gonna extend the legs all the way out. 2 more just like that. Bring the legs up. Good, let the straps carry you up and over. Good, bending the knees down towards the forehead, towards the nose. One vertebrae at a time, we roll it back down. Glue your tailbone, get that tailbone down, okay? And then send those legs out one last time, just like that. Good, bending those knees. Good, taking it all the way down. Sending those legs all the way out. Whoo, guys, bend those knees in. Let's take off those straps. Good, hang them up behind you before you get up. Just take those knees into the chest. Okay, rock the spine side to side. Okay, you do not need to be gluing your tailbone down right here. The spine is allowed to rock side to side, massaging that low back. If you want to do some leg circles, some hip circles, and releasing those legs, lubricating those hips a little bit more. Good, switch directions. Good, you guys. One last hug of those knees into the chest. 2 big breaths. Inhale here. Exhale. One more big inhale, expanding the ribs wide. Exhale all that air out. Guys, nice job. That was your 60 minutes right there. I hope you felt a difference in the connection with your body today, okay? Sometimes just taking or having that reminder of focusing on that intentional movement is all you need to kind of get deeper and really find that strong workout and that connection that you need, all right? If you have comments for me, guys, please leave them below the video. I check them all the time, and I love answering your questions, comments, whatever it may be, all right? Like this video, it keeps me giving you more, okay? And I absolutely love doing that. So any suggestions, any sort of requests, I take those all the time, so don't be afraid to ask. I am JessPFit on YouTube, as well as all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram. Okay, so you can find me there as well and send me a direct message. I love to hear from you. And also, guys, one added note is I now have an affiliate link for Balanced Body on my website at JessPFit.com. If you go to my site and click on the Balanced Body ad, you will receive 5% off your Balanced Body purchases. So if you need any sort of props, like a magic circle or a ring, a yoga block, weights, whatever it may be, go to Balanced Body, check it out. It's the only way you can really get a discount through Balanced Body, so it's kind of a nice little perk. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.